crews were in Black Mountain throughout the day following efforts to deliver needed supplies, restore cell service, and rescue people. And some relief runs were directly to the backyards of families on the verge of running out of supplies. Queen City News reporter Daniel Pierce back in the studio with us tonight. And Daniel, you got to go out on 2 of these relief flights.
Yeah, well, today I flew with Jordan Sedham, who he is the private helicopter pilot. Queen City News chief investigator Jody Barr told us about on Monday after he was threatened with an arrest if he kept flying rescue missions. Now, he is working with a large coordinated operation out of Hickory. Sedham's smaller chopper allows him to reach tight places otherwise too risky for landings.
They're pretty close to each other, so I have the couple of locations mapped out here. We're going to...
These 3 dots on Jordan Sedham's map represent 3 missions, 3 chances to try and help as many people near Black Mountain as he can in a single trip, while also racing against time.
They're all within the TFR. We're going to get going as quick as we can so we can try to get in and out before they shut the airspace down.
Anybody else back here?
Wednesday's mission briefing included more than 50 pilots, many private ones, who volunteered to fly in to help. Crews were given a 3-hour window to make drops before 1 Wednesday afternoon, when western North Carolina skies would be shut down as President Biden toured the region. That's why we wasted no time fueling up, loading up 75 pounds of food and water, and lifting off.
I've been coming out every morning, doing some rescue missions. We'll normally try to coordinate to knock out 3 or 4 each flight.
From Hickory Airfield, it takes about 40 minutes to get to Black Mountain in each of these locations. From 2,300 feet, you can make out the devastation along Lake Lure. Boats sticking out of the water and homes partially submerged in mud. Which brings us to his first stop, a welfare check of a couple in their 80s.
Hello.
Their house was surrounded by fallen trees, keeping them trapped until just recently. We aren't showing you the couple, but they told us they needed fuel and daily medication from this list. They refused to be evacuated, so we left them with a supply of fresh water and took off to the next location, which was the small community of High Rock Acres in Black Mountain, 2 ridges away. When we arrived, we surprised dozens of people gathered in a backyard trying to get cell service. As you can make out, they're cheering because we were the first air relief they've seen since the storm.
Oh, give a hug. Thank you so much.
How are y'all doing?
We're hanging in. We're hanging in. I haven't. This is my first to see, and I was just about ready to cry. That was so great.
Lib Molinek says that they're doing better than most.
The houses are okay, except for a few trees that have fallen on them.
Their main access road virtually wiped off the earth, leaving them stranded.
I predict we will not have power for a month, 2 months. We have to have a road.
Despite that intimidating timeline, they're remaining optimistic.
We want Beth and her family to know we're great. We're doing good.
And even as we flew away, you got a sense we weren't leaving the scene of a tragedy, but a reminder of what it truly means to be united.
And I would say our neighborhood, High Rock Acres, off of Highway 9 in Black Mountain, is going to go down in history as one of the most organized, community-oriented places on earth to manage surviving such a disaster as this.
That was just one flight that ran today. I mean, and you only got to get to 2 relief drops that we had before we had to get out of the airspace simply because the president was coming in, which was frustrating at times, but they picked up operations and went from 2 to 6 this evening. Now, we offered rescues at both locations, but people there told us that they were okay, but they are in desperate need of water, fuel, medicine, and pet food was mentioned a couple of times to us. Brian?
Yeah, it's incredible to see the elation on their faces and how relieved they were to see you guys land like that and to see something like that. But also, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that was one thing that Jordan was talking about. Again, I was just a fly on the wall in a situation like this to where I got to see the actual heroes in action. greeting these people and asking them exactly what they needed. And he said that that is something that he has been playing in his mind over and over for the past few days, just going to all of these locations and seeing exactly what these people need and hearing the stories of what they've had to endure for the past 4 or 5 days now.
Yeah, incredible. Also from the air, too, you were able to see some of the damage as we flew over Lake Lure, but what about some of the roads that were washed out?
Well, some of those roads, I mean, you saw the images there, and seeing it from 2,300 feet is something altogether. And in fact, I think we're going to have some video that we're going to play, but you get a sense of the water is receding, but the roads are just crumbling underneath what is left of them. And even as you got up some of the mountains, you saw some of the dirt wash away. You saw a little bit of roads being repaired. We even saw some crews that were cleaning some of that tree debris right around the lake. But I mean, as you can imagine, these families, as you heard there, they're preparing to be without power because they have no access road to get up there. In fact, they told me that they made a makeshift, just a small road bridge to get up that mountain, but they said an ATV was able to get them supplies earlier today, but then whenever it went back, that whole thing just looked so unstable that they're not going to try and risk it.
Incredible
anymore,
devastation
and
just incredible will to survive that you're seeing from a lot of the folks right now, and great to see everyone coming out and help like you were today. Daniel, thanks.